Live on Facebook. All right, here we go. Hello, everyone. Happy Monday. Happy Monday, everyone. 3 days and counting to the Galapagos. Allie,
So
what are you counting down?
oh my gosh, my son's turning 7 next week.
That's a countdown.
That is a countdown for me. It's a countdown. We're reaching 7, which leads me to be able to be like, hey, you're 7. That means that you get to, and it'll be all the things he's not excited about. I'll be excited.
I have no children and I have never been able to count down to a birthday of a child. So congrats to you, my friend.
Although I have to say, I would like to just crawl into your suitcase and come with you to the Galapagos, because that seems like it would be far more thrilling.
Oh, Lord. Hello, everyone. So Allie and I are kicking off a brand new joint project. We are super excited. She's going to tell you exactly how this show came to be. Today is episode 1. Why are there question marks above? Because we are pulling a prompt live from the box. She's going to tell you about how that came to be. But welcome, everyone. If you're here, please say hello. If you're catching the replay, it's #replay. Welcome to the stories that grew us. You are human, and so are we. Allie, kick it off.
Oh my gosh. So this fabulous human and I were at a retreat together, Southern Vermont, at the beginning of October, sitting around campfire a couple times that week. And there was just hilarity all week where there was these inside jokes. We were coming up with these one-liners that were going to be these fabulous subject lines for emails, blog posts, like whatever business content, right? We were all cooking up. And Shannon and I were just like having so much fun around like the ways that these subject lines were coming about, just in general conversation and people just telling stories, and these snippets were coming to life. And so we were like, man, we could do a live show where we just riff off of these subject lines and we talk about stories, because really when it comes down to it, regardless of what Shannon does and what I do, we are all about storytelling. We are about the humanness of people. And that story is really the thing, right, that we all can get around. We all have stories because we all have experiences. So this show is really about the humanness. It's about storytelling. It's about Shannon and I getting real with y'all, because it's going to be those dumpster fires and messy moments and magical moments, messy middles. I don't know, we're screwing up the subtitle already, but we're going to get it down. And it's just going to be a lot of fun, and we're encouraging you to be a part of the conversation.
Beautiful. So this show, we're aiming to be 15 minutes or less. We are ready to rock and roll. So Allie, why don't you go ahead and introduce yourself for anyone that does not know you or needs a reminder?
Yeah. So I'm Allie. I am the CEO and founder of The Right Place, Right Time. I am a book coach and ghostwriter, or sometimes I like to say I'm a writing guide girlfriend and ghostwriter all rolled into one.
I love it. And I am a part of Allie's membership, where we get together every month and we write, because you know that shit just don't get done on its own.
Exactly.
So, I have a book coming out. Her membership was a huge part of me getting my thoughts around this book. And for those of you that don't know me, I am M. Shannon Hernandez. You can call me Shannon. I am a joyful business growth strategist. And what the hell does that mean? We have a mantra around here. If it ain't joyful, we ain't doing that shit. And we are helping thousands of coaches around the world get back to a place of joy in their marketing, in their messaging, and in their business growth. And we do a lot of that through story. So we are so happy you are here. All right, Allie.
Party included. I just need to say that, like, Shannon is my guide and mentor on this joyful journey of like making my business be a part of my life, not my whole life, of putting my lifestyle values first. Like, if you don't know what Shannon is doing out there, like you're on her personal page and you're like, oh, I had no idea. You need to fucking get with it and go and like see what Shannon's all about, because she's genius, and you need a little more of her in your life. So that said,
thanks, Allie. I agree. I co-sign all of that. Like I'm in total agreement of that. All right, Allie. So this could be a big old dumpster fire. We're about to find out. So everyone listen up. We were at this retreat and we have 4 pages of one-liners between the 12 of us that we just, in regular conversation, we thought, oh my God, wouldn't that be a good subject line, right? So I have them in here, and whatever happens, happens. So Allie, I'm going to read it first.
let's do it.
Today's topic, Woo-Woo-Wackadoo.
Oh, I love this subject line. I feel like you should go first though, because this that whole phrase derived from you.
All right. So everyone, I have a saying in my community. So I work with coaches and consultants who want to grow their business through the lens of joy. Like practical shit. All right. Not woo-woo-wackadoo shit. That's where we get into trouble, I think. And so I often say to my community, I have a little bit of woo, but I'm not a woo-woo-wackadoo. And so in this community, what we really know for me and for this community is you need a dose of the woo, but you need a shit ton of practical stuff to go with it. There's this balance, right? And so I've just had this love-hate, mainly hate, relationship with coaches who continue to say, just repeat the mantras, just sit in meditation, just go for a walk, just move your body, just get a spiritual guide. While all of those are true, you also better have some damn action and practicality and joy in your business plan to get things moving in the right direction.
Yeah. Oh my gosh. So true. Woo-woo-wackadoo. So when this was like going around the campfire, I thought, oh my gosh, what is my relationship to this idea of like woo-woo-wackadoo? And I think that my connection to this myself is that in the last few years, I've been on my own kind of like spiritual expansion is what I'm going to call it. So I've leaned into like trying to understand what human design is. I've understood more about what my intuitive gifts are. I have a collection of crystals now. I have multiple decks of oracle cards, and I know that to some of the people in my life, mainly I could think like if my siblings and my parents knew just how many of these things that I had, they would be like, she is woo-woo-wackadoo. Like, because I have all of these tools and things that I am like, kind of, communing with to keep my mindset where I want it, or to fill my soul, or to help my business, or whatever it is. And this would be like way out there for them, like way out there. So it's like, what's the bar? What are people's bars for like what's considered like woo-woo,
I'd actually love, Allie, I want to ask you a question. So yeah. I want to ask you a question and ask our audience, what is your bar for like woo, like your woo adjacent or woo adverse?
I love that. On the continuum of woo.
Yeah, up till this point, like the woo is okay, but once it goes like this far, like, no, you're out. Like, I'm out, homie. Like, that's the woo-woo-wackadoo. But yeah. Allie, I want to ask you, because I too have the card decks. I've created one of my own too, which is super fun.
Oh, I love your deck. Yeah.
I have the candles, I have the incense, I do not have the crystals. I have not gone that far to the other side. But why do you think our families would think this is so bizarre? Because I agree with you. Like I don't care if they know, but like it's not coming up in everyday conversation, right? So what kind of family did you grow up in that would think that this is crazy pants?
Well, so and not that like religion necessarily has anything to do with it, but I was raised Catholic, and I feel like along with that Catholicism base was also some more, I'm going to say conservative thinking, some more restrictive thinking. And so it's like, this is the religion and this is the only thing, it's the one white Jesus, but we're getting ahead of ourselves. So it's this kind of lineup of morals or sacraments or guides or whatever. And so I remember as a kid, I was really interested in the tarot, but the tarot was like seen as like devil worship, like I remember, I think maybe saying a little bit of something to my family about being with a friend, being at a friend's house, and we looked at a tarot deck or something, and you could see like the sheer horror on their face. And I thought, okay, like, is that like, what is this expression? What is this like feeling that they're having? And then I never really got into any more of that again until probably, I would say, grad school maybe was when I started to kind of open back up again, because I was on my own. I was outside of my normal environment. I felt a little bit freer to like explore and expand. I started trying non-denominational churches because I was like, Catholicism hadn't really spoken to me. So I think part of like the family rules that we had growing up were really based on the religion that we were growing up in and what that religion said.
That's really interesting. I too was raised Catholic. I too have left that. It was not serving me. It felt very, you were always like guilty or in shame or had to go to confession or something.
Or all of them. You were shameful and guilty, and you better go pray for your ass, because if you don't, you going downstairs. Like,
and it's not even enough for you to pray for yourself. You need to go to the priest and let them pray for you. Like, it was a total like turn off when I got turned on to what really was lighting me up in the world of spirituality. So then I was just sitting here, I was listening to your story, and I was thinking, I'm scared to ask this, but it's the nature of the show. What did your family think about Ouija boards?
Oh God, no. Like, why would we bring the evil upon us, by trying to like do seances and like bring people back from the dead or whatever. Ouija boards were out. I remember like there was this book when I was growing up called, I want to say it was called Are You Afraid of the Dark? Or maybe that was a TV show. There was some sort of book, I could still remember, it was black and white and it had all these different short stories in it for kids. And one of them was about like, if you go into the bathroom and you turn the lights off and you stare into the mirror and you say this one woman's name 5 times, kind of like Beetlejuice, but like not.
It was Mary.
Mary, yeah. And she's supposed to appear in the mirror. Right? And it was like, why would we even bother, to do that? Like, obviously, I don't think that it's like they didn't believe into it, but at the same time, they didn't want to risk it. Right.
Yeah.
And I, now that I say that out loud, it's interesting to me, like, well, if you don't believe it, then why do you fear it? Like, if it's so far out there that it would never be something that would manifest, then why isn't it just a harmless kids activity or parlor trick or whatever word, you want to use? But I think it, obviously it goes back to that old adage, right? We fear what we cannot understand. So yeah, I don't know. I wonder what they would, if I had a conversation with them now, if I was to say, hey, remember way back when, like you kind of like about the Ouija boards and the tarot readings, like, what do you feel about that now? Like, do you still hold the same position, or have you like chilled out because you realized that was bogus?
Are you going to bring that up at Thanksgiving?
Maybe I'll be like, you know what? Let's not go around the table and say what we're thankful for this year. Let's talk about childhood trauma. Let's talk about that time.
I will never forget the when I was coming out of Catholicism. Like, I was like, this is not for me. I was at Christmas at my, of all times to make my declaration. I was at Christmas at my little sister's house, and I would just walk down and everyone's like opening their gifts and talking about, I don't even know what. And I literally just stood. Now I was old enough to know better that this was not the proper time to probably do this. Like, I was 28. And I said to everyone, I want you all to know Jesus was not white. And my dad like snapped his head up, and my mom looked at me cross-eyed, and my sister just didn't even know what to say. And the children had no clue Jesus was even connected to the gift opening. Like, it was just one of those moments where like the whole thing stood still, like the room just went silent, and there was just this heaviness. And my dad said, Why would you ever think he wasn't white? I said, well, geographically, it's just not possible. They never talked about it again. Like,
Oh my gosh. Yeah.
never again to be spoken of or talked about. That might have been a real woo-woo-wackadoo thing to do.
Oh my gosh. Yeah. I feel like we could talk about this all day long. I think that the closest that I got was I took a religion class. I had to take a religion class in undergrad, but it was like reading the Bible as if it's literature, where we really looked at the Bible from a very kind of objective lens to look at it as a piece of literature. And in literature, right, metaphor, analogy, all sorts of storytelling devices are used, right, to make a point. And I brought this education home with me, and I ended up doing a Bible study with my mom and my grandmother that summer, like
Wow.
kind of picking apart the Bible stories that we all grew up with to provide new perspectives. And I have to say that despite how they were each raised, they were very open to us sitting down together. And while I don't think that they agreed with my perspectives necessarily, they were willing to hear them and listen to them. And I have to say that that was probably one of the better memories I think I have around my religion and my family. Not that it was bad. It wasn't all doom and gloom and everybody getting all up in arms about things, but it was just very clear, like the unspoken family rules that were there because of the religion, you know. It was more like something would be said if you were doing something wrong, but then if you were like following along, then like nothing was said at all.
Yeah.
But yeah, I think my brother once recently said that like they all knew that I was like the hippie of the family, because I'm all like, let's just love each other and love and compassion and empathy and telling stories. Like, I think that they think that I must like be back here, like running around barefoot, you know, and I don't know, jumping into vans with strangers and traveling the country. Because that's what I think of when I think of hippie. But I think like for them, they probably see hippie and woo-woo-wackadoo as being like the same thing. Like these things are just like completely connected. All right, so we're over where we wanted to be. We wanted to be 15 minutes. We're a little over that. So let's turn it over to the people who have joined us live today. We're catching the replay. We want to hear from you. We want to know what woo-woo-wackadoo means for you in your life currently or previously, or if you're if you're seeing into the future. Do you see yourself expanding spiritually? Have you had a vision? Like, you can put those things in the comment. And one of the things that we want to try to do with the next episode is basically pull some of our favorite nuggets from the people who have kind of posted things and engaged, and kind of recap those at the beginning of the next show. So Shannon, what do you want to tell folks before we close out?
Yeah, I just want to say thanks, Allie, for agreeing to come and do like impromptu crazy storytelling. Like, it's totally our jam. It's what we're known for at Joyful Business Revolution, is teaching people how to market and sell with story, because story connects. And if you all would like to check it out, we have a workshop coming up, kicking off in December 5th. It's a 4-session workshop called the Confident Coaches Workshop. And we are going to help you simplify your marketing, learn how to tell those stories that are going to light up your people, and learn how to sell out your programs with organic content. It's $97. We'd love to have you there. I will put the link in the comments, but it's joyfulbusinessrevolution.com/confidentcoachesws. Allie, what's going on in your world that you want to share with people?
I just want people to come over to the right place, righttime.com. And that's the first WRITE. So right with the W, and the second right is RIGHT. So the right place, righttime.com, and jump on my email list, because that is where my people will find out always first before everybody else what is happening in my world. And there's something coming up in November that I'm pretty excited about, but you got to go get on the list. So go get on the list, and I'm happy to be sharing more stories and more story tips with those people who jump on there and join the community.
I love it. So Allie, we've decided initially to come live every couple of weeks. Of course, Thanksgiving is coming up and I'm in Galapagos. So when are we back here? Do you remember the next date we'll be back?
We are back here on the 28th, Monday, the 28th.
At 9:30 Eastern time. So we'd love to have you join us. Put a marker in your calendar and Thank you, thank you, thank you. We'd also love your feedback. As you know, whenever anything new starts, we want to know, how does it land for you? Did you like it? Did you laugh? Did it remind you of something in your past? We would love you to share your story with us too. All right, everyone, sending you all lots of love. Have a beautiful, beautiful, beautiful week. And remember, you are human.
Bye.
Bye.